Good morning, TCA. I hope that you guys had an incredible Thanksgiving. I would be very interested to hear what some of your favorite items were that you guys ate over your break. I hope that you had a good time with family. I hope that you had a good time to be able to rest, and I hope that you are ready to start gearing up for Christmas. So this week, we're going to be jumping into the rest of the book of Genesis. We're going to be walking through from Genesis 15 all the way to Genesis 50. And the theme of this week is the patriarchs of our faith. And so something that I want you to realize is that as we're walking through this historical study of different characters throughout the book of Genesis, what this really is this is looking at all of the ancestors of Jesus Christ. Now, something that's really interesting is that we find ourselves after creation, after the fall, after the flood, in this space of time where a man called Abraham is selected by God. And Abram at that time, continues to learn what that means and is commissioned to go and be sent. Something interesting about the people of God, starting with this calling, is they're considered nomads. They were wandering around and they were traveling, and they actually didn't have a place called home. And so whenever God calls Abram and his wife Sarah, he promises them something that actually seems a little bit crazy: children. You see, Abraham's wife Sarah could not have children. And so whenever a creator, a God at this point, God himself communicating to Abram, promising him that he will have descendants as numerous as the stars are in the sky, it actually brought Sarah to a point of laughter. It was very difficult to understand. But we're going to begin looking at Abraham tomorrow, and then we're going to guide through and recognize his son, Isaac. We're going to go from Abraham to his son, Isaac, to his son, Jacob, to his son, Joseph. And this storyline is actually going to take us from the calling of God's people, the establishment of this covenant, and take us all the way to the people of God, now known as Israel, the Israelites, that are in slavery. They're enslaved in the land of Egypt. So if you remember kind of what happens next, it's the Exodus. And so what we're going to see is we're going to see the sequence of events that took place where God was establishing his covenant with his people, where he was guiding his people inevitably to the land of Egypt, and also where he would inevitably deliver them out of Egypt. And we're going to continue that bloodline all the way to the person of Jesus Christ. And so it's a really exciting time. A lot of these stories that we're going to study from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, they're some of my favorite historical stories in the book of Genesis. There are some moments throughout all of them that we see things that are very unique to that time, very specific to those people. But there's also some truths in the character of God, and also in the relationship between these men, their wives, and God himself that we can learn from. And so it's going to be a lot of fun as we walk through this. So just a couple quick facts just to remember. Abraham, Father Abraham, he is the father of our faith. We call him that, but some other religions do as well. And so what it's important to remember is Abraham was chosen. He was promised that he would have ancestors as numerous as the stars are in the sky. And that promised land was started with him. And so as we walk through from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, Jacob is actually going to be renamed as we go through this process. He'll be named Israel. And he's going to have 13 sons, but there's 12 tribes of Israel. And so whenever the promised land is called Israel, it's being named after their father, Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel, these tribes are named after the sons of Jacob. So it's important to realize what's going to take place here is actually going to end up shaping how the kingdom of Israel is established, how the people of God are coordinated, but also inevitably the prophecies that come out of this dynamic, this family, this lineage will end up pointing straight to Christ. And some of the most incredible things that Jesus Christ, these prophecies that he fulfills, not only in his arrival through his mom, Mary, but also through his crucifixion, a lot of these and the consequences of Christ's life are fulfillment of what takes place over the next 35 chapters of Genesis. So I'm really excited about what we're going to do as we walk through this, and it's going to be an incredible week of studying God's Word and learning a little bit more as we learn to live out His Word day in and day out. So what's going to happen is Mr. Cody has actually a worksheet that he gave your teachers, and you're going to be able to work on those things and discuss some of the stories, and we're going to see a little bit about your knowledge of each of these 4 characters found in Genesis as we begin to do a deep dive and study them throughout the week. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Happy December, and we're excited.